Alrighty. You can hear me on the keyboard, that's funny. So, we're going to start a new map. There's a couple things I want to do really quick. The first thing is I got to figure out what zone we're going to use. I kind of feel like if I use like newer zones, it's going to make it easier to throw into other servers, so I might do that. As you know, I could actually start up Restream as well so I can see what you guys are chatting about if anyone's in here. As you know, when Reign of Fear came out, there was some weird zone names that were used. In fact, let's do this. Like, I could use Shards Landing as my main loading hub. I think that's a smooth way to do things. So I'm going to go ahead and save this blank map inside of C drive in my... Oh, I actually don't keep this very clean. Let me do that real quick. C drive projects. This isn't C drive. This is C drive. Code projects Demancia. Client ROF. And we're actually going to go ahead and take Shards Landing OG. Though, okay, so what should the hub be based on? I feel like I'm going to keep it Neriac themed. I think Neriac is pretty cool looking. It has a nice, like, dungeon feel to it, you know? So let's go ahead and grab, Neriac A. We're going to come over here to RLF, and we're going to actually paste it and rename it to, hey, derp. Are we going to play some Apex Legends later? And we're going to call it Shards Landing. And the reason I'm doing this is I have EQ ZXC in here. And if I double click it, it's going to extract all of those contents into Shards Landing right here. Perfect. Which, by the way, you can see in here, Neriac A is still in the package. But now that we have this going, what we're going to do is come over here. All right, yeah, no worries. Clean away, dude. Clean away. We're going to go to Shards Landing, and we're actually going to create the .map file in Shards Landing as well. Okay, so what this does is once we get back into the code, which is the client project, it feels build, man. You will be missed. Thanks for the lurks. We're going to go ahead and go find my Shards Landing S3D, and we're going to change the... where is the file? Right, no. We're never going to update that S3D. We're instead going to take this map file and add it. So this is the source code to my zone, basically. And yeah, so now that we have this, I need to do some orientation tests. So what I'll probably just do is go ahead and make a cube. And we'll make it like, 128 by 128 and 64. That should be fine. Then we're going to go ahead and hollow it. And I think I'm going to increase my grid size and go for something like this. All right. And we need to tweak the faces, whereas I actually haven't used this in a bit. I'm kind of disoriented. It looks like the top face is here. Okay, so face mode, which is F, click here, then turn off, click face mode, then press W and drag down. There we go. And what we'll do is just make it a pretty much perfect cube in here. And this is oriented at 0, 0. Okay. And then I'm also going to go back to select mode, copy, paste, move this. Wait, it didn't paste. Oh, it's pasting textures, interestingly. How do you duplicate, actually? I don't think I ever learned that. There. It's spacebar. Did not know that. All right, so now we have a duplicate, and this one I'm actually going to shrink down to the size of a single cube. So we're going to take the head and go down 1. We're going to take a side and go down 1. Take a face and go down 1. So this is a single cube of my current grid size. I'm actually going to move this guy as well. Let's turn off cube mode. Let's select you. Move you away, hit save. Now we can go ahead and build the BSP. So we're going to hit build final. There's no lighting data or anything in this right now, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and start up OpenZone. And inside OpenZone, we're going to go ahead and point it to Shards Landing BSP, which we have to go find the Quake 3 map. There are no textures, which I guess I could fix real quick. In fact, easiest is I take Nariac and basically put everything to like rock. It's fine. Floor, wall, 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 and roof. Sure. Okay, so let's rebuild the BSP real quick. Let's go back into OpenZone, and we're going to be looking for the BSP file, which technically, if we go to Urban Terror, it's going to be quicker. So D drive, games, EQ, or wrong directory, Urban Terror, base Q3. We're going to be moving this away, by the way, eventually. Now that I'm getting a little bit more confident in, oh, this isn't right. There. If I open it here, I think all the textures will load fine. No. Oh, I imported the wrong one. That don't help. Where does this generate at? It should tell me on the end here. Oh, it's actually putting it into... Is it? Where is the BSP actually being generated? Oh, the map leaked. Oops. Oh, there's also no player start. I have to put that in. So right click, info. I think player deathmatch works, which looks fucking huge. But I know that this thing is too big anyways, so we should be okay. Okay, so the BSP gets put into Shards Landing as well. I think that's okay, though. We can literally just import it from ROF. Could not find the BSP file. Okay, so this does not cleanly work in this style. I might need to... Let's see if shardslanding.bsp, if I copy this over to my OpenZone folder, namely, I was putting it in library, textures, Quake 3, maps. Let's see if this just like magically makes it work, putting it in that directory. I really hate how specific. Yeah, see, isn't that retarded? Like, it's the exact same fucking file. All the references are good, but because the BSP is at an external directory, it errors. I don't know. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and export this as, file, export the S3D to Shards Landing. Yep. And then we need to actually get an Ubuntu prompt going, because in my mount D drive games EQ tools, there is a S3D copier, which we can tweak real quick to say, take all of Shards Landing and move it to our client. There. And what that does is now Shards Landing is being versionable. Okay. So now we're going to hop in the client. and go ahead and hit play. Apparently I'm being messaged somewhere. I think Josh commenting. Yeah, it looked like you can carry it. Yeah. I did last night, by the way. You're lurking. You probably don't hear me, but... All right. So let's go find Damantia. There we go. Let's hit play. I think I have enough zones spun up. I might need to verify that, actually, but still. Once I get everything going, I should be able to keep a relatively small amount of zones and make this all work. But the first thing I need to verify is the sizing. And also, this takes forever. I need to fix the D-input lag. I know they were commenting it was based on some sort of bullshit, but regardless. All right, so Zachary, you're going to log in. You like my background, by the way. I like my loading screen. It's pretty. It doesn't totally orient right, but okay. So we're going to go GM Nash. We're just going to go ahead and say zone to Shards Landing. And in theory, oops, go to 0, 0, 0. There we go. Okay, so this is actually too small. You can see here, the cube is about the size of me, like width-wise. Actually, it's a little too small. The height is way too small, and the room is tiny at 128, but that's why we made this room, is to test this. So I think now if I hit camp, and then we come back into NetRadiant, what we've learned is that the current grid size, which, by the way, where is the grid size? Okay, this is grid 4. This is too dang small, right? Because the small cube is absolutely tiny, and the bigger cube is almost there. So what we can actually do, I want to see if I can get the sizing right. So let's go ahead and click on you and resize this up to like here. So this is like the width of a player right here. And the height of a player is probably a little smaller than this guy. I'm guessing that's about the height of a player right there. Maybe a little taller. We'll test this real quick. And you would just move around. We need to grow you. In fact, let's go ahead and take the grid size to 8. And see if this fits better, basically. Basically, oh no, let's actually just delete that. Oh, what is the delete key anyways? Is it just delete? No, delete moves the camera. How do you delete? It's Z, which actually, that makes sense. It's Z as well in Blender. But let's take one of these cubes. So you can see here, I made a perfect cube for a grid size of 8. And let's go ahead and save, build the new BSP. Unfortunately, we have to do the copy and then we have to do the move, which that's why I made this BSP here. In fact, I think I can just run BSP, come to NetRadiant, or OpenZone, delete this one, import the new one. Quake 3 maps, and then we have Shards Landing. We can hit open. We can export this as an S3D. Shards Landing. Yes. Okay. Then we move to S3D, and in theory, I can just hit enter game, and it'll put me right into that zone again. It might crash, but if I'm lucky, the cubes have been resized. They have not. They have not been moved, and they have not been remade, and it is also snowing in here, which that is a sign that this is set to an outdoor zone. This should be an indoor zone. We've got to make sure we remember to do that in the future. In fact, let's go ahead and save this scene file into my quick access ROF client, Shards Landing, and put this as shardslanding.scn. Because what this basically does is now, if we go to Shards Landing, we also now have a shardslanding.scn SCN. There we go. And this is actually the Quake 3 mesh data. Which honestly, dude, look how clean this is. Like how simple this import is. Granted, it doesn't really work in OpenZone very well, but every texture is literally just triangle text. Interesting. I wonder if this is also why the animations are fucking up, because look at this simplicity of this import. I don't know what the true falsing is, but it's literally just raw text. All right. We don't care about the character select. My patcher actually needs to be in the git ignore. Iki-emu patcher.yaml. Oh, by the way, I should change how that patcher is loaded. I'm going to do that real quick too. So if we open up Visual Studio and go to Iki-emu patcher real quick. Boop. We're going to go look for the file list builder.yaml file. Actually, I can press Control T, file list builder. No, actually, we got to search for all. File, come on. List builder.yaml. Should be a couple references. No? File list. Well, the file list builder could. Well, no, it's called Iki-emu patcher. What am I doing? What? What? File list is the generated file, right? That's being versioned, I'm pretty damn sure. Why did Iki-emu patcher? That would be in the file list builder. No? Where does Iki-emu patcher.yaml come into play? Huh. It's like the start and stuff. So like if I go back to the code and say auto start, why am I getting no results? Am I like searching incorrectly? See, edit and Iki-emu patcher. This should be. Why did those not get any results? Like, is Control Shift F not searching all? What the hell? There we go. What the hell? That was weird. Anyways, this is going to be called Damantia now. Damantia. The PNG, you know, I might actually keep that in there too. Whoa, why'd you say VS? That was weird. Damantia. All right, so now everything should be compiled to now use Damantia. Okay, so we need to real quick go to the Damantia directory, find Iki-emu patcher, go to the patcher, go to patcher, bin, release, there's Damantia. Copy this to ROF, replace, then we also now need to take the Damantia YAML and ignore it, including in my file list builder. Where is that at? Here? There. And now, whenever I start EQ from here, it's going to start and create a, it should create a Damantia YAML now. Still making a patcher. So this client right here is incorrect. Did I just copy this properly? Because it said I built successfully, and then it set the file to release. Oh, this is like an old copy. Did it make a debug? No. What the heck? Why is it... Here, I'm going to just delete all of the release real quick and rebuild. And that should make... Whoa. There. Oh, it's calling it EQ Patcher by default. That's okay. We can rename it each step. That's fine. There. So now when I start this, it makes a Damantia YAML. Perfect. Now, if we go to our ignores, Damantia.yaml is ignored. Damantia.exe should stay. Right? I actually don't see. I'm going to have to do it manually. Git add f damantia.exe. And that's because the exe files are a little, they're ignored by default. But damantia.yaml is ignored. And now if we run build, let's double check the builder is probably going to include now. Ooh, that's taking a while. That's a little odd. But 1286 is about right. File list. Wait. Why is there just a file list? It should be file list.rof, shouldn't it? What happened there? Oh, that's the patcher. It's because I have this window open and it doesn't need to be. Right? No, it's literally in this directory. Huh. Why did you get created just now? I'm going to delete you and see if it regenerates it when I... Oh, is that it bringing it down for the patch? I think that's what that is. So what we just need to do is add that as well to the ignores. Yeah. Okay, so the ROF now has, it should just add in, the input was added back. That's fine. Yeah, login player server, that's fine. Notes.txt likes to update. I almost feel like notes.txt can be unversioned. I think that's perfectly fine. It's not like notes are ever going to matter. What else is there? Shards landing, perfect. There's all the object files for that. Let's go ahead and do another build. And see if these entries above kind of clear out, especially notes. I'm actually curious if I can remove EQ client and EQLS news, or not news, EQLS player data. Can I just delete this file? Will it boot fine? In theory it will. We're gonna just exit you. Before we start up again and verify that though, let's, oh. Is that why it failed? Let's double check. When we build, it succeeds, it goes to Shards Landing. And that's the BSP there. I think what the problem is that my S3D, or my BSP copier, takes it from Urban Terror. So what we need to really do is mount C drive, code, projects, Damantia, client ROF. Oh man, this is like a pain in the ass with it like set up like this. For now, I'm not going to copy that. Instead, I'm going to just go to shards and find shards landing.bsp and copy this recursive to maps. That should fix this. Delete, file, import, Delta, Alpha, Bravo, Dingo, Llama, Dabdiddle. I was looking for the first letter. Hey, Lazy, how you doing? It's been a while. I'm making custom maps. Isn't that pretty cool? Let's go ahead and export this to shards landing. Okay, then let's run S3D copy. Then let's start the client up. We have a bogey on our sixer. I repeat, bogey on our sixer. Okay, so now it's doing the prompt at the first time. I think that's fine though. And also now it doesn't keep my name, which is probably preferred. Because now it's cleaner when you do a first start. Look how fast this starts, by the way. Like, yes, there's a bit of black right now, but that's because I have the D input back, the DLL. But once this black DLL delay happens, which I need to see if I can fix and clean up. I would love to make it where this doesn't take forever at that step. Watch how fast, once it shows the splash screen, boom, done. And I'm still in shards landing, good. So if I hit enter, boom, and I should be in the zone like now. Perfect. And look at that. That cube is about exactly my size, width and height, right? So this is basically the dimension of a NPC. The width is about that. The height is roughly that, at least for a dark elf. You know, obviously ogres are bigger. And then, of course, there is this tiny cube, which is not super tiny. It's actually not too bad. So basically 2 wide of my grid is the exact width of a player. Cool. That's what I wanted to verify. So let's go ahead and camp out and go back to NetRadiant. And here is my map with the giant cube in the center. So what I'm kind of envisioning, and maybe I'll use like paint real quick just to kind of scratch paper. I'm kind of envisioning a kind of like a survival room maybe with like some sort of center point, maybe some walls, like strategically. Oops, that's a pen tool. I didn't mean to use that. You know, but like maybe some walls that you could maybe get on top of and just kind of break the similarity. And essentially NPCs will spawn around you and come in through each of these points. And this is essentially the first map. I should actually make it where there is an NPC in the center. I feel like, though, with 4 points, it may be too overwhelming. So maybe I should instead go for something where, like, you know, here's the map. You have your spawn is here, kind of like, you know, a MOBA. And then there's like a quarter break. So like this is your room, and maybe you have like a door there and a door there, right? So 3 ways. And the mobs will come out of little rooms. Something like this. And what this lets me do is it makes it harder to like camp where they come from. And it also feels a little bit more natural. And even like looking down the hallways, I can like I can shift the hallway direction so it's harder just to look down. And so each of these little rectangles represent a room that mobs spawn in and then run out and then come over to here. So everyone spawns in, let's say like here. Yeah, let me like make it red. Like here's your spawn point, right? So everyone spawns in here. And the defense point that you're trying to keep alive, like there's a player or NPC that stands right here. And so whenever a mob spawns, they automatically get put on the hate list of this NPC. So they all just don't care about players, but they care about this mob. And your goal is to keep the mob alive. I'm sketching, okay? This is easy for me just to like sketch something together real quick and think about how I'm going to design the map before I really get going. You know? And I forget what that sound is. I think that's like a follow. Yeah, thank you, Gangsta. Is this a new Gangsta login or something? Anyways, and we could like corridor break them in the back and do something where like there's a last room here. So like this comes over here. And of course, this is super rough, but you get the idea. Even something like this maybe. And then there's like a little room here or something. So the idea overall just being that like mobs will spawn in all these. Yellow is not a great color. Mobs will spawn. I don't have an easy way to make an arrow, but here, like mobs will spawn in these spots. Players hang out over here, and if you did come out, like you can totally run around and like explore and shit, especially like if it's trivial. You guys are funny. Anyways, I'm about to jump back into NetRadiant, damn it. I'm just sketching, and this is faster for me. Because, like, I could do it in here, but I'm not as fast. Because basically, I also need to figure out the height. The one thing I need to actually do is I'm going to theorize how big an ogre is real quick. And see if I can like estimate that. So this is the size of a dark elf or just a normal elf. So you figure the size of a ogre is going to probably be more like double-ish, maybe even the size of this big cube. In fact, let's say that it is the size of the big cube. So we're going to go up one more. That's roughly the same size. And then the width is probably going to be like double, if not triple. That's my theory of how big a ogre is compared to an elf. I think that's about right. It might be a little too big. Yeah, I get you, dude. And his width is probably at least like one more over. Maybe like that. So we'll test that. And then also, we can always just make everything based on a ogre so they don't have to crouch when they run around, right? So let's go ahead and build this and do a quick verification of ogre size. So it says mine's glooming deep, but it should be set now where it just auto flies you back to CLZ for now. We'll check. Yep. And you can see here, he's big boy. He still kind of fits on the platform, actually, like his feet at least, but his arms are too big. I should actually make a little tunnel and test height clearance too. In fact, let's do this. So now that we have this cube, right? I'm curious if I take off face mode and like, let's just make a large platform, right? And then on the bottom, let's raise it up and just make like this little roof I want to see if I can walk under that cleanly without crouching as an ogre. Because, you know, I got to size everything for ogres. Otherwise, shit's going to be too small and they're going to be fucking useless in all these dungeons. Okay, so we're going to go back to Demacia. We're going to go to Shard's Landing. I'm generating a BSP right here. And we're going to move that to the maps folder because open zone sucks. Then we're going to delete this. We're going to import it again. Library textures, Quake 3 maps, Shard's Landing open, file export, S3 or S3D Shards Landing, yes, go. Take the S3D, copy it to the proper directory, and now hashtag zone shards landing. And this should put me proper. I might be crashing. That load is very slow. Unless the zone shut off, like I've been having that issue too lately. I'm still cleaning up my server. Ugh. Yeah, because this should never take this long. It's literally in the time it takes to negotiate normally. Well, let me SSH into the server real quick on another machine. Let's restore the screen session I got going. It says it's zoning him to it, but I think the client froze. I do have 2 zones open right now. Interesting. Okay. Let's go ahead and close this client because it's frozen at this point. I am replacing EKGs and that kind of fucks with shit, so it's very likely just. All right, so what I'm going to actually do is take Demacia, my little executable. I'm going to pin it so I can just spawn clients up quicker and easier. All right, so another thing I want to do is, before I start this one, D-input is still lagging every login, and I hate that, so I'm going to just take it out for now. It's optional anyways for now. This makes my login time so much quicker. All right. So, yeah, watch. Black screen and splash screen, and we're in. And now I'm into the game. And now we're in the game. All right. So it's very dark for an ogre, which is not... Oh, wait. I'm actually in the location wrong. There we go. Okay, so we're in 000. There is that floating cube, and I am not able to go under it. So this estimate is too thin. You can see that... Can I fix the gamma, by the way? I don't know if... Okay, good, I can. So the width is too small, and this is not tall enough. Damn ogres. Like, this is exactly the height of an ogre, but their collision box is actually smaller. And yeah, I'm getting stuck left and right as an ogre right here. So that's what I was wanting to know. Let's go ahead and camp out. Let's go back to NetRadiant. So we've learned a few really important details. For example, this needs to go up at least one more. Oops, that's a face that I'm selecting. Let's turn off face mode and do that again. So at least up one more. I think this will clear them. And just to keep consistent, we're going to take this face, move it up one as well. This is my estimate of how tall he is. And this is my estimate of how wide he is. Which I think a couple more may fix him. We're going to move this little player entity over too so we can see this in the editor better. I think I can hide him by just pressing H too. Yeah, that's easier. So this is my new estimate of how big an ogre is. Maybe a little thicker too. And we'll take... Jesus, is that truly the difference between a a fucking elf and a ogre? That's nuts. So anyways, I'll probably, in fact, I probably should go ahead and learn this real quick, is I'm going to take a, what are the I don't remember how to do the different camera view changes. It's like the problem is I keep using different okay, so it's numbers. I tried numbers though, but let's try it. Let's see. 1, 3, no, because that's doing the cubes. Is it? There it is. There we go. So here's a side view, right? And what I want to do is probably what we could do is take this ground, right? And let's take a face and let's stretch it. And actually do the same thing for this. I need the X. Wait, what are you doing? Give me a red. Same with you, please. Boop, 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 boop. I can't really tell if I'm all the way over. It doesn't hugely matter. This is just a test anyways. And then we're going to take the rooftop and stretch you out. And basically, I want to take this wall now and use Q to just move this back out to roughly there. There's some leaks, but let's just close it in there. I think now there's no leaks. Good. So now that we have a little bit wider of a corridor, I'm going to take this little slab that I got floating and stretch it out. And I'm also going to hit spacebar, move the second one over, use rotate it 90 degrees, and then go back to movement. We're going to move this in close. The alignment's all jacked. How do I fix those, like, snap to grid? Is there a grid snapping option? I think there is there. But of course I do that and it's like, yeah, I am snapped. Fuck you. Grid, let's put it to like 1 real quick. There, I think we're now flush. And then we can go back to grid 8. And now we can go on the bottom, select the face, move this down to the ground. What I'm testing is, can I get the ogre in here? And if not, how wide and how big does the thing need to be for the ogre to get into it? In fact, I'm going to keep the front cleared a little bit. And let's go ahead and move both. Oh, I can't move 2 at a time? Can't I? There we go. And let's move this over to like here. And then let's also take this face, stretch it out a little bit. And then let's take this, copy it, move it over here. I'm going to intentionally make this too wide for now. So, okay. There. This is my little hole test. So let's go ahead and build this. Okay, so every time I build, unfortunately, I have to go to Shards Landing directory, find the Shards Landing BSP, copy this to the Open Zone Texture Zone file here, delete the old one, import the new one. This whole pipeline is really why I want my own tooling. Oops. Because, you know, you mess up a click and then look at this. 1, 2, 3, type in a word. 4, 5, 6, 6 clicks every time just to export. That's annoying. S3D. Let's log back into Shards Landing. It's probably going to crash again. In fact, look, it almost always crashes. To the point where I wonder if getting back to character select will be faster. Or even just starting a new client. I mean, I fucking start really fast now. Okay. Ogre is fitting everywhere. Perfect. Now, Ogre gets stuck over here, but that's because there's an Elfie there. Ogre is wider than this slab. In fact, it's at least another grid wide. And this thing is actually not too bad. It's a little too wide, but I mean, we could probably put it down another. I mean, my arms to fit comfortably needs to be in like another two spots, I think. Okay. So something like 1, 2, I think, and then this thing as well. We learned it's about 1, 2, which just ate the elf, but that's all right. Where is it, by the way? There it is. Can I click this? Yes. Let's just move it out of the way here for context. So this, in theory, should fit an ogre just fine still. We're going to verify this because this will probably be the width and height of every corridor for me, minimum. Okay, there we go. Take the BSP, copy it here. Delete this, import this. Export this to shards landing. Go back to here. Oops. I thought I said exit, but apparently I messed that up. I'm gonna actually see if MQ2 works now too. It should. Because I can use that to auto log in quicker. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Yeah, and I actually have a little bit of strafing room, but this seems to be relatively comfy for an ogre. Granted, he doesn't have very much height, but he does fit, and that's what matters. And yeah, this little dimension here is pretty much the ogre size, I think. He's so fucking big, I can't even see like a side profile. Let me move him away and look. Yeah, definitely tight quarters for one, though. But we now know what a corridor looks like. Cool. So with this in mind, what is the cube size for an ogre? Like if I go to 3 or 6, it is roughly, I think a 48 is actually the size. 48 by 64. We're going to put that into a note. Size of a ogre is roughly 48 by 64, width times height. So yeah, that's going to be important. I'm going to be using that everywhere. This also means that my cubes and stuff could really be done in 16 mode. 8 is kind of subdivided, but 16 is a good like generic. Cool. So now that I've done all this, I'm going to go ahead and start zetting everything. And then we're going to go back to the normal view, which is like what? 1? No. Is it shift 1? Is it? Oh, there it is. It's the numpad. So 1, 3, 7. And these are doing 1, 3, 7. Top is 7. So let's do 7, which we are in. let's fix the grid back to 16. And let's make a big room to start. So we know that a single ogre is roughly 64 height and 48 tall. And so 0, is currently roughly here. How do I move the camera in this view? Oh, it's right click. Okay. So we are roughly right here, okay? What we're going to go ahead and do is start sketching out some map design now. So we know that a ogre is roughly this width, right? So if we need a lot of players to be in this area, we need it to be at least something like 512 by 512. Might be a little too big, but it's a start. Also, this thing's height is shit, so let's fix that real quick. You figure with the height only being at 64, if we do like 128, that should be pretty spacious above us. Which right now we are at, Z is 3, whatever that number is. But we could even go for like 512. You know, something like that. So this is your main room. And of course, in my little paint, I wasn't making it a perfect cube. I was actually going to break it up and make it into like more interesting segments. I can still use a cube for my base, kind of as a, you know, solid point. You figure the size of this entire zone, especially if we make 0, the center point. You know, we could assume the whole room is going to be something like, why does space click not, oh, it's right click. I keep forgetting. All right, so you figure like this is going to be the equivalent of the other thing, right? So let's go ahead and resize this. Can we scale it this way, or is it like dumb? I think when you scale, it's based on side. And it's honestly easier just to use faces. Okay, so we're on the wrong side. I think this is the wrong side as well. Yeah. So let's come over to this side. And let's go ahead and resize this to roughly here. And then the same thing with this side. We're going to take it and we're going to move it all the way to roughly, man, I can only go as far as, but I can use this. There we go. You know what? I'm going to go like the whole thing. F, click, roughly there. Okay, so this is my pseudo room, and you figure again, a player is only like this big. So this is going to be a little too spacious, but that's okay. That gives a delay before mobs attack, right? The height seems okay, and it's actually a little big, but that's okay. So we're going to go ahead and hollow this. Boop. Oops, one of the walls is not there. Is it because it's over there? No, it's because, all right, fine. Let's just copy that, put it over here. And there is my loose room dimensions, right? And we can just put a nail roof on there so you can see the shader. I mean, arguably I should fix this on all the corners, but if you see the shader not found, I'm pretty sure that just comes out as the transparency wall, like it clips, you know? So it's not like end of the world if you see it. but for cleanliness, they all have Neriac roofs now. Okay. Another thing we need to do is actually look into getting some more textures. This is most of the Neriac textures right here. So you figure if this is a Neriac themed little dungeon run, we need to think about how exactly we're going to make this goblin floor. I think is a super common used Neriac texture. There's also an open zone viewer we should maybe look into having referencing. Because if I open this, how do I change the directory? Okay, apparently F1 crashes it, so there's that. Load world, load mesh, open screenshot, reset, hotkey, current settings, edit, options, file, load, world, change directory. There it is. So we're going to go to, I know there wasn't. I pressed enter to open the C drive, games, EQ, Lazarus. Okay, now we're going to go to Neriac real quick. Neriac, I don't know, commons, sure. It's a very slow loader, by the way. Would you like to copy objects? Sure. Okay, so now we have a little world viewer. And now we can kind of get an idea of how some of these textures and stuff work. So you can see here they're using like the granite wall, then they use some textures there, and then they have all these little inner houses, as you know, and they use like simple little corridor walls here. They use that goblin floor there. Okay, so this is good for referencing. I mean, I could do something similar to this for the starting area. I need to actually add more textures to my collection. So to do that, we go to this shader list file, which is in OpenZone currently. It doesn't really matter if I do OpenZone first, but I'll have to copy my effort. So we have a Neriac shader in shader list. We need to go to the Quake 3 folder. Base Q3 textures, or actually scripts. We have a Neriac shader. We want this file. And essentially, we just need to take all of these. So what would be an easy way to do that? Let's, isn't there open in command prompt? Open, that works. ls star.bmp. If we do ALH, it'll go linear. I can take this content, copy, go into this, make a new file, paste, Control A, Control Shift I, take all that out, and now we got a list. So we can copy this, come over here, paste. There's a couple incorrect. This one has an extra 5. We don't need palette anyways. And yeah. So we take all this, we do Control Shift, actually do that, then go Control Shift I, home, map, space, textures, / tab it in, take the old ones out, save, because Neriac wall is in here, right? Neriac wall is not in here. Interesting. Well, we can keep these there, I guess. Nirwall. Oh, they are. Cool. So now we just rebuilt all the shaders, and if we come back here, we're gonna have to copy all of these, which unfortunately they're BMPs. I think they'll still work okay though. We can always try. So let's view this as a list or even as details. Sort it by type. Take all the BMPs, copy, put them into the Urban Terror directory under textures, Neriac, paste. Go back to NetRadiant, refresh, and what happened here? Why would all the shader files not be there? It's probably the BMP. Texture load failed, textures / error parsing shader textures. 3930, unexpected end of line. 39. Oh. What the hell? Drana SBB? This is an incorrect file. Okay. So next, why am I... And by the way, why did Restream go away? Okay. Loaded texture, 5 Neriac block, and then it stops. Why? I wonder if it's these BMPs. I'm pretty sure the BMPs might be the issue. What's the easiest way to do a mass convert? It'd probably be something like convert. Man, I don't have convert installed. God damn it. There. Delphi form? No. I want ImageMagick. Sure, I just want a static copy. It's kind of a long download. All right, so I'm going to probably install this to D drive bin ImageMagick. Install FFmpeg, I guess. I already have it installed, but that should install convert. Dude, it doesn't even have convert in here. But it does have Magic K. I think literally it's just Mogrify. It's not that hard. I just want to batch convert BMP to JPEG Windows. This doesn't look right either. Bulk. Why does everything have to have GUIs, by the way? But I mean, this works. It should be okay. There. Okay, so cut this, put it into my D drive bin real quick. And now I have a bulk image converter. All right, so we're going to take my, I mean, technically I can go ahead and take my D drive, or is my quick access on here? I don't think so. Oh, it's right here, I think. Is there ROF in here? No, that's like a whole different thing. That's annoying. Code, projects, Damantia, client, ROF, Shards Landing, open. Convert all the BMPs to JPGs. Not JPEG, but that's okay. I think it'll still work. Parameter is not valid. What is the parameter it's missing? What the fuck? This isn't rocket science here. What parameter is invalid? You piece of shit. Was Mogrify in this? No, there's only... Oh wow, this renderer just disappeared. That's annoying. Damantia client, ROF, shards, what is it? Magic. Might be able to do this. What is this all about? What did I just fuck up? Oh, that's Urban Terror. Where is my... Too many open holders. So that did not do anything. So you can see here, magic star.bmp to star.jpg. Unable to open image? Why the fuck are you opening images? Take an image and take it to the output. Is it because it's wildcard and it doesn't know how to do wildcards? That literally just made one file. Okay. We're getting closer, but how do we convert the output to a name that's wildcard? I guess it would be percent file name, F name. Maybe. No. it is ignoring this altogether. The problem with this tool is it's so damn powerful. And it's got all these options, but like when you're like, hey, I just want to batch convert, it's like opening up the Necronomicon. It says Mogrify, but I don't have Mogrify. Oh, Magic Mogrify, format JPEG, star.bmp. There we go. That was the command that I was trying to figure out. So I'm going to put that in the README. And really, what I should be doing is when I do my extraction, I should have a JPEG option and just do it myself, because I can easily do this in my EQZXC program. But okay, so now that we got all these BMPs, we can just take them out. Boom. Then we go to my shader file and we take all the BMPs. Whoa. Wait, what happened here? .bmp, .jpeg, save. Go back to NetRadiant, refresh, and you're still not happy. What the fuck? Why are you not happy? Do I have to like reload you or something? Loaded textures. Urban Terra Base Q3 scripts Neriac.shader. Let me just reload the shards landing real quick. Shards landing, please. Neriac, refresh. I'm only getting 2 textures. Did I copy these properly? Is that what's going on here? That's what's probably going on here. I forgot. I only have BMPs in here. This is in, yeah, we can just delete this. So we can take these JPEGs, copy, paste them, and reload. Neriac. What's going on? There we go. That's what I wanted. Sweet. We got all the textures. That was a lot of work, but it worked. All right, so we don't need hollow. We do not need hollow in here either. Okay, so now we can actually fucking refer to textures, and we can take open zone and reload the world. And of course that didn't work because OpenZone does not show, or not OpenZone, Zone Viewer does not show a world after you go into admin mode once. All right, I don't care about objects, honestly. So we got this nice little world now that we can walk around in, and I'm kind of envisioning like the main guard wall to be like that. In fact, I could even have little corridors. I could even put the little archery things. I don't know if I can do objects very cleanly. I might have to look into that later. I'd also have to learn how to export and import those, which is a whole other can of worms. But you figure, like, let's think about how we're going to make the walls and the entrances and the caves. We could have a cool extravagant entrance like this. That'd be kind of cool, right? So you can imagine 3 corridors here, and you run up and you have a little guard point, and inside of here is where the main hall is. And if we make the geometry a little bit more interesting like that, it can make the map a little bit more enthralling. All right, so this is going to take some work, but let's play. The first thing I want to do is, if I build this, it's no leaks right now, right? Nope, there's a leak. Apparently, the player deathmatch. Wait. The player deathmatch. I think it's because this is floating under ground. That's why. But let's double check that. Yep. What is this? That was weird. Anyways, so this is kind of our starting point in a sense. This room seems really big. I might have to shrink it, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so let's get back into this. You figure, let's try to make, I don't think the platform needs to be this tall, but having a little like walkway for each of the entrances could be pretty cool. And I think I can replicate this pretty easily. Let's try. So we're going to have an elevated point that everything's going to be lifted up to. I could even make it where the 2 side entrances are a little harder to defend. Maybe that could make it interesting. So even like just replicating this as a whole could be kind of cool. Let's see. So we're going to start with a simple brush that we're going to make relatively big. Let's make it 512 by 512. Okay, now we got to move this down because... All right, so if we go to 5 or 3, damn it, 3, we can see this better. All right, so here is our little starting area for the whatchamacallit. We're gonna set this texture. Whoa, why are you running? To this granite. Let's see if we can find that. I think it's called granite. Could even be this. No, it's more brick-like. That's a flooring. We have this sort of brick, but I think there's a different... Is it this? No, it's a little bit more like there's mortar in between the crevices. I kind of missed it. Let's see. Grayish. There's like white mortar where this is black. Huh. Do we even get like that flag, the blue flag? Or are those like external textures that don't get extracted unless you refer them? If that's the case, what I could do to kind of, you know, fully comprehend the full texture list is I could go to Lazarus real quick and take the Neriax, which we have A, B, and C, copy these, put them into Demancias. Run my EQZXC. And take all the Neriac BMPs which is basically all of it. Put them all into Shards Landing. Same thing with B. And C. See, now I'm getting like the arena banner and shit. Then we can delete Neriac A, B, and C. Now we run the batch convert command. Okay. Now we go back to Shards Landing. We delete. You can see there's some duplicates. Oh, it's actually the BMP and the PNG formats right by each other. Like that. Then we go into this again, or here, and do the ls again. We copy all this again. And we clean this up. We take out any of this crap. Pokerfish copy, huh? There's literally a file called Pokerfish copy. Interesting. And then this Drana keeps coming in. I wonder if that's like a corruption in the S3D extraction. But no worries. Okay, so that should be clean. So let's go ahead and copy this, pop it back in here. Take all but the last one, paste, and then take all, hit Control-Alt-I, map, textures, this, take the last one out, save, refresh NetRadiant. There we go. And now we should have all the textures. And let's double check, can we find this texture? Since obviously that was the issue, was like the white brick. What? Am I still not finding it? Are these like externally referenced or something? Or am I just not realizing what this texture is? Wait, there's something wrong here. Because like the arena banner is not in here either. I probably need to open. Yeah, let's save it. That's fine. NetRadiant, start up again. Refresh, Neriac. I can't tell, but I don't think I see it. The texture that we care about, if we go back to like large icons, is like arena banner, right? If we scroll up, do we see arena banner? We see numbers, banner. There is no arena banner. Why is arena banner not being included? It's right here. So arena banner. Oh, I know why. I know why. Yeah, that is because I did not copy these to the proper directory yet. So these are all invalid images right now. So we have to copy these to Urban Terrors Neriac, which we can go ahead and just delete, I'm pretty sure. Now, refresh. There we go. See, now it's loading it all. There's my arena banner, and there's my white texture. You can see that it's popping up now. I think. Yeah, so there we go. There's the white Nariac block that was missing earlier. All right, so let's reopen Shard's Landing. And now we're in business because I can select this, hit this, and now we have a texture that looks similar to this. In fact, I think it's the same texture. They didn't do shit to that, did they? Look, that's like identical with the typical UV mapping. Okay, so now that I have this cube and everything's happy, I'm going to hit spacebar. Where the hell is this? Oh, there it is. And we're going to go ahead and move the second copy over here real quick. And what we're going to actually do is there is some shaping tools like polygons. Okay, I did this earlier. There's a Bicone, I think, or is it Prism? No, coning makes it that. Let's do Prism. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted. So now I have a very similar shape. Did this freeze again? Jesus. This program is absolute shit. Maybe I should be using Ali's. Because I know his is offline. It's like, I don't remember what his thing is called. It's like Ali Khalif. There it is, Visual EQ. He has a website. I'm pretty sure it's still hosting it. Let's go find that real quick. Visual EQ, right there. No. Where is that website? I think he still hosts it somewhere. Come on. I know it has to be in here. There. There we go. So we want to go to zones. And then we want to go to Nariac. B. There we go. And he's got transparencies all fucked up. But that's fine. We don't care about that shit. What we really care about is this room, because we're making this. By the way, look at the texture difference on that and what... this must be pre-ROF. That's fine. We got the same ordeal going on, right? So, one thing I need to learn real quick is, like, if I go to face mode and I select here and I put the arena banner there, can I, like, apply it as a decal? I actually don't know that very well on here yet. Probably the easiest, in my opinion, would be we create geometry. Something even like this. Wait, why aren't you letting me draw geometry? There. And, why is this invisible, by the way? It must be that it's Z is really fucked. Yep. But yeah, we can take this, we can take a face, and we can drag it out, and we can basically do S and say fit or reset or ortho. And we need to rotate it 90. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. You want to click the face. And then we want to fit. And now if we take, honestly, what we should have done is use this texture. Is there like a eyedrop, by the way? Can I like copy this? Not easily. Okay. Because that's kind of annoying that I have to go find that texture again. But we're learning, right? We're figuring this out. The truth is, I could probably get away. Like, you can actually tell this texture is literally just, they didn't use their own object. They used this, they selected this face, and they put a banner on it. And then they took this banner, they rotated it, and then they made it fit, essentially. Honestly, don't mind that look. And what we could even do is take the height. That's really big steps. Where is the... One sec. Excuse me. Let's do 0.15 vertical stretch, and then we can step it. Yeah, this isn't quite fitting the way I was envisioning, but arguably what they're doing is let's say that we take the top here and we shrink it, and then we make this fit. Then we take the entire object, we move it up, right? We copy it, we make another copy here. We take this face and we make it into that face, which, by the way, I still need to like figure out how to select a brush and apply it to another. That would be really nice, so I don't have to fucking search every time. Because I know that's the wrong one. It's right here. But yeah, that's annoying. Anyways, that's an idea right here. It kind of looks like it. The geometry is a little wonky, but it's not horrible. They're using a different brick texture on this version. That's interesting. But oh well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and emulate this over here too, which my understanding it would be we just simply make a cube, doorway. This doorway then needs the face on the top to be shrunk. We want this to be big enough for ogres, of course. So we need to make sure that this height is at least 96, I believe. We could even keep it higher, but let's see what the documentation said again, because I kept that README open. The height of an ogre is 64. So at 128, this would be very spacious. And we can actually stretch this side out a little bit, even to like 128, which is very spacious as well for a ogre. So then we can like shift this to the center. And what they're doing is they are making a doorway. They're also using the geometry of the floor. So when they do this cut, they're actually making the inside hollow. Man, look at how ugly this is geometry-wise. And then they're doing these little cuts to get you ultimately into this room. Okay, so taking a rewind, we could have a single house room like this and then make it where there's 3 walls that really enemies come in. Or even 2, and then like a stairway up the center. That could be cool looking. But regardless, this needs to be hollowed. I think if I do it this way, this will look okay. Yeah, shader not found, because when I hollowed, everything got wonky. That's okay though. We can fix this. Can I change how that worked? Is there parameters to that? Okay, so I hit shrink brush, and now if I hollow it, the outer edges are just ugly. How do I make that better? How do I hollow without... There. Brush hollow wrap. Okay, so now we have a room. There are some artifacts, like you can see there's bad textures in the walls, but that's fine. There's also now, I can take this. Whoa, why are there? That's literally the wall. I see. Okay. So, and that's the floor. Okay. So on this one, the floor, yeah, there, is flush with the ground. And we could potentially fix that, but for now, we're just going to keep it like this. Anyways, we're going to take this object that I made, and we're going to select its interface, inside face, which I think is right here. And we're going to stretch it out and make it big. And the reason is that there is, oh, there's actually 2 objects in here. So let's delete this one. And just to double check, does this, yeah, okay. So we're going to do a up one more, because that's like pretty much the height of that. Okay. So what we're going to do is a subtract. I think that's how it works. No. Am I in face select mode? No. I did this earlier, but I don't fully remember how I did it. Honestly, I think diagonal joints would be better. Let's see if I can, oop, that was a little too many. Okay, so this is now solid, right? Yes. If we use this, it grows it slightly, but now our walls are like cleaner. The outer edges are a little wonky, but we can fix that. By doing this. And now we have inner textures. This bottom piece needs it too, and the top piece probably needs it. Why are you not selecting? Like, where is that shader? think that just fixed that. Okay, so the question now is, how do we get the face to stretch? It is a combination of multiple twos, SciVenge. All right, so here's the area that I'm not remembering how to do, which is, how do we subtract? Every time I'm doing subtract, it's not working. It's like the hollow option isn't. Merge, wrap, make room, tool. The tool has shrink, expand, hollow, extrude faces, pull faces, grid size, remove inner brush, cock faces. Huh. Well, let's just, like, I could technically move this whole wall. It's going to look ugly. Yeah, it's going to look very ugly. I want to make doorways. Why am I having issues with this? I did it earlier. There it is. Jesus, that took me forever. All right, so now we have some extra geometry on the bottom, but now we have the door. So what I could actually do now that I know how to do this is I can take this inner part, right? And I can copy it, spacebar, and then I can use the tools to shrink it. Boom. Oh wait, that did not work like I was hoping. Oh, it's because the grid size is way too big. Let's do like 2. Shrink. There we go. Undo that actually. Let's do like 4. Wait. Spacebar, shrink. Then let's hide this for a moment. Now we got this inner thing, right? What we're going to go ahead and do with this is Shift H, and we're going to hollow again. And then we're going to move this out of the way. And why didn't that work? Oh, it did. There's just like multiple pieces. All right, so now we have this outer border, which is what I was looking for. Because we can take this border and put the wood texture on it, and that'll be similar to the border of this. It's not identical, but it looks relatively flush. Oop, there's a little bit of a lip on the outer top. But you figure if I take this part, put some wood flooring on it, it's starting to look a little bit more, you know what I mean? There we go. So now, in theory, I can use this now as my ref. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to repeat that super easily. Rotate 90. Move over to here. It's going to be about there-ish. What are you doing? Get the green part, not the center part. There we go. All right, so we're going to do a subtraction again. Then we're going to move this out of the way. Then we're going to copy this, move this out of the way like that. Now we're going to shrink it. Oh, we got to keep this object in the area. Is it there? Yeah. Which means we need to make sure this face gets flush. Oh, is that the inner one? Could be. Actually, you can tell I have a gap. This is not the right face. Let's do some undos real quick. In fact, let's just do this. Spacebar, shrink, subtract. All right? And then we can take out the center. Now this corridor is bigger, but I think we can fix that pretty easily. And dang it, it's my first map, so I expect a lot of flaws. You know, for fun, let's just paint all these real quick. The geometry is kind of funny because it's all facing different ways. Which I think if I just rotate all of the surfaces by 90 degrees, is that what will happen? No. Actually, yeah, that's about right. And then we shrink. No. We need to get on this side, select the wall, shrink that down. No, there. That's not bad. I mean, you can see that I'm kind of noob in this, but it's not absolutely end of the world. What program is this, and can it be used to make any maps in any game? What game? You mean in like EverQuest? This is for EverQuest that I'm messing around right now. The program I'm using this very second is called NetRadiant, which is for Quake 3. Arguably, this is not the best route to take, but I personally prefer making maps in this. We're going to go ahead and put some light data in real quick. Let's go back to W. Let's move this sucker into place. I still don't know how to make placeables, so I got to work on that. Yeah, so this is just NetRadiant. It's what it's called. There's tons of them out there. And by the way, I'm total noob. Like, I do not know NetRadiant. I just learned it recently. But once you get used to hotkeys, it's honestly kind of second nature, all of them. There's not a lot of difficulty to it. Okay, so now we have this little room, right, that comes in from two entrances. And yeah, do you want to see this in game? Let me put some more lights and we can go ahead and put it in game. Light. I'm actually just going to spam a few. Light. I could even colorize them and all that, but whatever. We're just working for now. That should be enough. Let's go ahead and save this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit brush, or what is it, build, final. that's going to spit it out into a directory. I don't have this batch super clean right now, but shards, we're going to grab the BSP that it puts into shards landing right here. We're going to copy that. We're going to put it into our my OpenZone directory. We're going to open up OpenZone. We're going to delete the old mesh. We're going to re-import it. This whole process, by the way, is an absolute fucking pain in the ass. I'm going to try to fix it later. Shards landing, open. You can see there's the light data getting baked in and the little thing on the bottom left. Then we go ahead and export this as an S3D, call it shards landing. Then we come here, we copy the S3D over, we start up the client, play. It's good for me to check anyways. We log in. By the way, my client is so thin. Look how fast this load time is. The black part is kind of always there. But look, boom, loaded. Loading is an ogre because ogres are huge. And now we're in the zone. Yes, I'm underground, but obviously I'm fucking with geometry and stuff, so let's just say go to 000. There we go. It's a little too big, and apparently the wood texture I need to fix. And there's also a floating bottom. Whoops. But the lighting looks great. I made them super bright, and you notice this room is lighting up. This texture, is this how it looked in the editor? No. I think this is a bug because of my textures. Give me 1 sec. I can fix that. So if we go back to Urban... Yeah. If we go to Urban Terror Neriac textures, we can copy this, put it into OpenZone textures for Neriac. We can delete these old ones. I just added all these textures and it just wasn't properly baked yet. All right, so let's go back here. We're going to delete and re-import again just to make sure it's totally good. There we go. Save, export to S3D, shards landing. Yes, yes. Copy the file, start the client up. This should fix the 2 texture issues at least. Obviously the geometry is still kind of fucked up, but that's all fixable with A/B testing. All right. That, by the way, the loading screen is also custom. Oop, we crashed. That was technically a clean start. It's a little concerning that we crashed, but we can verify here in a sec. There. Ooh, this ground texture's fucked. And these are still fucked. Interesting. Why are they coming up as black? But now these outer textures are working, right? That's hilarious that I made this float like a noob. But an ogre fits in here great. In fact, like 3 ogres could walk in this on side by side, which is what I want, because this is going to be a very busy area for like a full group to be defending this point. And then this whole zone is going to be like zone spawns, and I'll probably make some obstacles and things that you can leverage over here. It's kind of my vision. So now interesting. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think the ground is floating, but it definitely is. So we have a couple fixes for that. So generally this easy to hack in existing textures and such to mess around? Or is it just that EverQuest? Well, I mean, the pipeline I'm working on right now is specifically for EverQuest. But, I mean, as far as it always being this easy, I don't know. It depends on what you're doing and where. I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to move this down. And that pretty much clips it with the world. But by doing this, I might actually just move everything down. It's probably easier. Is there a select tool? I've never actually tried to select multiple objects. Let's see if I can just... No, because that makes brushes. Where is like a modify, select touching? That could be a good one. So if I click this and go edit, select touching, all right, that's not too bad. And I can deselect that one, and then I can do it again. And I can deselect that one. Maybe do it again. There we go. So this is a pretty good edit. Let's go ahead and see if we can just move it down one. Okay, I think I just did it. So let's hit Shift H. And now you can see I fixed the geometry on the bottom there. I lost my wood floor. Honestly, I might lift this back up, which, well, unfortunately, kind of makes it. Let's elevate the ground here. Okay, so you walk in, you're gonna see that actually doesn't look horrible. I could actually shrink it a little bit. Oh, this side's actually really bad because this was not moved down. Or it looks like the roof was, but the other parts weren't. There we go. So now we have ground. And now the inner part, we could actually, let's increase the grid size. I think we're at 8 right now. No, we're at like 4. Let's go to like 2. And arguably, we could just scale this a little bit. Oh, this is not truly scaling on every dimension, is it? Like it's shrinking at first. I want this to go down. To give that a little bump. And then this to go down. To make this like flush. Can I please select the red? Like the box in the center is annoying. I mean, arguably, I could have just raised the flooring instead of having to lower the object, but whatever. I'm just playing around and learning anyways. I don't know if I like how the corners now kind of stick out, but that also could be fixed by shrinking this a little bit more. Or something. I think there's also a roof that is not as beveled. I could be wrong though. No, that roof is definitely beveled. Anyways, I think my, oops, I didn't mean to use scale. I think my lights are too bright, which I think S, no. It's like the entity viewer. I forget what that's called. Entity inspectors, N. So all of these lights are too bright with their radius of 64, and I think there's an intensity value in here somewhere. In fact, let's make a new light real quick and just do a quick comparison. So like if we make a new light, light intensity 0. Let's make it like 69 real quick. So it says light is the intensity value. So for whatever reason, light of 0 is really bright. Oh, and this one actually needs to be moved in a little bit. Same with this. Probably the same with this. I actually don't like where... I could probably take this one out. I'm going to make these colored for fun. And now we're going to make this light like 20. Or like 5, I guess. I don't know what these values really correlate to. These lights are 300. That's the issue. Let's do like 50. Yeah, you can see here, I think this is the radius of those lights. Though this says 5. I think this is actually just super tiny. Like this is the overrides. So that's if it's a spotlight, which we do not have spotlights currently going. So let's make these a little bigger, like 20 maybe. And now you can see, I think they're only going to be that big. Well, let's test it. We have 5 and we have 20 on those 2 points, okay? And you can see on the viewer, the radius says this one's going to be pretty much the area, and this one's going to be huge. I'm going to move them down too, so that they're a little bit more flush on the ground. And we can test. And we'll also move this out of the way, so it's not reflecting on it. Anyways, I'll probably just put the NPC in the center here. And actually, I'll do that real quick. I'll make a... You kind of figure I can just make it like this. Oh man, my grid is huge. Probably like this. All right. And then now we can go tinier. Take the top face, shrink this down, and we'll make this little platform. Something like that. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, so then we're going to take the brush, I think prism. We'll make this, yeah, let's keep it 8-sided. That doesn't look too bad. So this is a little platform that the NPC is going to be standing on. He'll be perma-rooted and just be chilling right here. Another thing I'm going to do, just to kind of spice things up a little bit, so I'm going to put some arrows on the walls here and like some weapons. Why is this? Oh, the wall is like on the same. Let's see if I can make this look a little better. Wait, let's do 2. And then the height 2 as well. Ultimately, the stretch is what I'm worried about. I want this to just be like 1 high. Those steps are too high. And we want it vertically shifted down a little bit, I think. Okay, that texture looks absolutely horrible, honestly. I forgot that the background is wrong. We could put... Let's see. We could put the dogs. Can we just center it? Come on, can you make this? There. Then we can rotate it. And then we'll, the height. Okay. So what does this look like? Oh, damn it. The freaking wall picture fails again. I keep forgetting that we have different... But I mean, we could put this there. And look, now that I've done the tweaks, it looks decent. So now we have like things on the walls, and the texture does not fit proper. I wonder if I could fix that by like, I'm going to take that 74 and make it 0. No, we definitely want the 74. Let's try putting, damn it, did this, yeah. So 74, can I like copy? It's basically negative 0.8 and negative 0.8. And then the horizontal shift on this one can just kind of be fixed. And these weapons are going to be fucking huge because this room is gigantic, but that's okay. That's kind of classic anyways. I may have actually put it on all sides. Whoops. But what I could do is put the original brush back on and then just do that face. But that's okay. That's okay. It's not a big deal. You never see that area anyways. And I'm learning. This map I don't expect ever to be very good. One issue is that this wall is so close to this wall that they're clipping. I could fix that pretty easily, but I'm just not good at this yet. Yeah, it's good practice, right? So we're going to stretch this out one. We're going to go to the top, do the same thing. Where's the center point? There. Stretch this out 1 or 2. Then we're going to take the wall and just move the whole wall over 1. And that'll be enough where this stays flush, right? Yet this wall is no longer clipping, so there's not two objects on top of each other. Another thing I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to put the banner. Yeah, dude, there's tons of tools, especially if I sit down and read tutorials. I just haven't yet because that requires time that I do not have right now. Okay, so this is 74. Don't know if the 74 is going to be accurate, but the other parts, which is the 180 and the negative 0.5. Let's try the 74 real quick. Okay, that's looking better. Negative 0.8 again. That's interesting. All right, and then we can shift this back to... I think that looks pretty good, right? Two little banners. Not too bad. All right, let's build it. Let's see how it looks in game. I did the lighting tweaks. Oh, we have a leak. Oh yeah, that makes sense. These walls are leaking. So let's hide this. Let's take this face and do the same sort of operation, which was W, move it out 1, go to the other side. Whoa, what are you doing? Get the, there. F, click, W, out 1 or 2, just 1's fine. Save, and build. And it's happy, no leaks. Cool. So again, unfortunately, I have to go to Shards Landing, which, by the way, we can take all these worlds out. This whole thing will be regenerated later. Shards Landing should have a BSP in here. There it is. Copy, put it into
my texture maps, which unfortunately I think I moved. There. Go back to OpenZone, delete the old mesh, import the new one, which unfortunately I always have to go to library textures, maps, shards landing. I don't see the lighting anymore, so it may be a lot darker now. Shards landing, export. Okay, okay, save. Go to this, copy. This character is unfortunately in the zone, but we can just start it up again. Ugh. The load time is just long enough I can take a drink. And a crash. I don't get the crash. It could be I have MQ2 running. MQ2 likes to crash things. Especially because I don't have the D input going on right now, so my DLL hacks aren't happening. All right. Yeah, so definitely darker. I don't see my color lights. It doesn't look horrible though. But you can see now the geometry looks better. Let me log into a Dark Elf. Dark Elf see better. This texture is broken. I still don't get the wood texture. Yeah, as you can see, these arrows are fucking ginormous. Oh, and also, this texture didn't load on that side, and I don't think the banners did either. No, the banners did. The banners look a little pixelated, but, you know. I mean, these entrances are honestly fucking huge, but I kind of did that intentionally. I might be able to shrink this whole area because it's not like ogres are tiny here. I wish I could do a grouping like you said. I mean, I could look into that here in a sec. Let's see. Components, nudge, edit. Grouping is not. Miscellaneous. Entity. It's called Net Radiant. Insert columns, entity. Again, I'm really just learning the process more than I'm learning the tools. You know, like this is obviously tool learning here, but like learning the size problems, learning all that, that's what I'm really focusing on right now. I'm going to go ahead and hide all this shit. Honestly, if I hide it all, and then I select an object and just go select touching, and then maybe do that a couple times, I get the lights. Let me turn the lights off too. All right, so now we have just these objects. If we go select touching, select touching, select touching. All right, all right. And resizing is going to be interesting. I feel like the best way to scale is like go up first. Damn it, I wish it would scale with the pivot on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's not right. Can I think what is better is use this. There we go. See, now it's a little too small, but oh shit, I deselected some stuff. Hey. You figure maybe something about here is a little bit more realistic. Obviously, the ground elevated and all this other bullshit, but I think the cube is going to be a lot more reasonable. I made everything way too fucking huge. All right, so now if we go to W and then we shift this down, we could actually go into one view. And probably about there. There's a little bit of a lip, but I don't think that's end of the world. Doesn't look horrible. So what is it, 7? And we're gonna edit this, which is V, no? What was the entity is N for entity. So light, if it's 0, it's fucking huge, is what we're learning. I don't know how radius works. And if it even works on, whoa, what's going on here? I apparently selected something and there. Anyways, this blue light did not work at all, which I had worked before. It's kind of interesting it didn't. What I'll maybe do is just put a light like here, go to N, and maybe set this data for like light 0 with blue. File, build, brush, go to this, take the BSP, go to open zone, paste the BSP, delete the old BSP, import the new one. Export as a S3D. All right, now we're going to go back to the copier. We're going to kill this client, start a new one up. Oops. Haha, I screwed that up pretty bad. Let's try that again. Accept. I noticed this as well, but look, it's red instead of blue. So the RGB of OpenZone importing is broken. We still have the wood texture problem, but this looks a lot better size-wise. In fact, it might be a little too small, but that's okay. The step is too much. We may want to shrink it down a little bit more, but we could also raise the ground. I keep messing up flooring when I can just raise the ground. then obviously these textures can be shrunk and we should be happier. Cool. That's what I wanted to check. So let's go back to NetRadiant. Let's figure out, let's go ahead and just raise the roof or the floor. Damn it. What I need is like view 1. That looks good actually, just like that. Okay. That was a lot of work, but we are on the right track. So this, go to Surface Inspector, and I think, yeah, just using fit helps. And we could probably hit fit on these as well. And the texture actually looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. So we still have the texture issue. Why is this texture not being found? Let's figure that out real quick. We could also use just like marble interior, but before we even touch that, let's go back to Damantia's or OpenZone's textures. I mean, you can see that the slugs in wall, which I think is what that one is, works. But let's use LumT, I guess. Doesn't massively matter. Is there like a select same texture? Oh, I see. So if we find the original texture, which was not LumT, it's SERP, whatever. Can I put that in? Yeah. Okay. So if we say select all of textured, you can see that happened. We can take this and now we can search for LumT. Whoa, that was not what I meant to do. Here, LU, no. There. Same with this. Okay, so did that deselect that? No. Escape. So we only have this texture selected, right? Which is SERP2. Select all textured. No? Did not work. It's because this down here is selecting LumT. I think that's what's happening. In fact, I think SERP2 needs to be highlighted down here, then say select textured. There we go. Then we can clear this and hit LumT. Now we can replace textures. Yay! Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit fit on there. That's going to shrink these a little bit. That's an easy quick hack. We're going to actually change the wood of this though. I don't know what to, but something. Maybe like this. I thought this would be funny looking, which it kind of is. The tarnished coin texture on the bottom. Arguably, if I took this, put that here, took this, did the same thing, did face mode, select here, and put that there, and then like rotated it, to like that way and then hit fit again. It's going to look a little weird, but you see what I'm doing? Putting a little coin. It's kind of cool, right? What was the rotation on this? 135? See, that's kind of cool, right? So you walk in and there's like this tiled texture. And then you get up here and there's the burnished coin. I think it's backwards. I might have to rotate the... how do we do that? Wouldn't this be a vertical stretch with a positive number? There. Now we have the burnished coin marker for where the person is. Sure. Let's try it. I want to see if these brushes can be fixed now. Also, my wood outer edges got fucked up over here, apparently. So we should fix that. Damn it. Stop putting... I'm typing here. T. There. Now we have those textures. I actually like how the wood looks when it's proper aligned. I might even take a moment here. You know what I mean? It has a nice wooded... And we can always shift this. I'm betting you right now I'm putting more effort than they did when they originally textured all this shit. We'll do that. I know the upper edge is wonky, but fuck it. I'm not perfectionist right now. I'm still just learning. Final. Okay, so we gotta go through all this headache. Grab the BSP, copy it back to blah, 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 blah. Which one? Here. Okay. Then we open it in here. And we export as an S3D. Then we run the script, and then we run the client. And let's see if the two texture swaps got imported or not. Oops, I didn't mean to hit a count. By the way, how many people are viewing? I got 4 viewers. That's cool. All right. Look at that. Isn't that clean? My burnished coin is looking good. The swords are still a little big, but that's fine. Yeah, see, my wood texture doesn't look too bad. I mean, I know it's stretched, but that's kind of normal. The red here is like illuminating this doorway pretty heavily, but Net Radiant is based on Qt Radiant, which is based on Radiant, which was a or GTK Radiant. So there's like a history. But I kind of like this, you know? This texture might be too close, but I have 2 entrances here, and there'll be 3 from here, which means both the NPCs are eventually just going to decide to go left or right when they come in from the center, and that's fine. I think this is plenty big. And I think it looks not too bad, even just like this with that little bevel. I know it's not high res or anything, but you can't expect high res on... Ask me later, close you, go back to the editor. Okay, so now that we did all the dirty work, can you get behind this now? Yeah. That's not a big deal though. I'm okay with it where you can get behind and like kite, other than this texture now needs to be cleaned. You know, I'm curious. If I click here and then hit view, hide fixed size, transparency, hide unused, show all. I really wish there was a like find texture based on selection. There has to be something like that, you know, but I just don't know where it's at. Easiest is that you go Nariac block, right? You click here, you hit face, and you put Nariac block there. Simple as that. There. And so now when you do run around the outer edge, you don't get weird effects. Cool. Now, by the way, I'm going to move this window down. And thank you for looking, Cyvenge. I know I've been having a lot of struggles with all the bullshit of this thing too. Let's change this color, which is N, and like it. Let's make it less than 300. Let's make it, I don't know, 150, and let's also change the red to like red, like that. And we'll see how that looks. Also we'll put over here and basically copy the same settings. So 150, maybe even I'll make the green. So we have a red and a green. Let me move this up just to make them a little bit more parallel. It's not perfect, but whatever. Okay, so now we're going to go back to working on this, which there's a couple ways we could do this. What I'm kind of envisioning is that these are like corridors, and this area out here will be pretty open. In fact, to start, we'll probably keep this map is way too fucking huge, by the way. I didn't realize just how big is, but we are definitely big. Let's do this actually. Hide you. We're going to take all the edges of here. We're going to go to face mode, and we're going to select all 4 faces. No, 100% Cyvenge. And actually, that's one of the advantages. You notice I'm not using Luck Linera just because that's more work. Anyways, I can shrink this down significantly. Like, you figure, this is how big players are. We don't need this to be a fucking huge zone, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4 in a full. I think that, honestly, is probably enough just there. And now we can just take off object mode, take this, and just move it. And just put this, come on, there. Put this right in. Something like that. Good enough, right? Okay, so now that we have this, you know, texture in a corner, and I know that like this is ugly as fuck, but that's just my, you know, figuring out dimensions and shit. In fact, one thing we're going to need to work on, we've learned that this cube here is actually a pretty decent size. So what I'm actually going to do is take it, make a object, which is way the fuck over there, which I think if I go to 3, I can now move this quickly. Oh, look, when I drag on the edges, it actually moves the camera. That's nice. So now we have this little cube. Xanderin, you're funny. You see my my little Neriac inspired little tower? Isn't that pretty cool? You know, by the way, I should double check. What does the roof in here look like? There is no roof. It literally just has a little edge and like some granite. Which, you know what? I might try to make that real quick. This is solid right now. So if I hit spacebar, move it up, and then take the top face of it and move that down, probably even more. Take it back out of face mode, move it back up, put it like right here. Move that face down a little bit more. You know what I mean? And then we go find this granite. I think this is Neriac floor, actually. Right? Anyways, we get a little bit of a edge. That gives the same effect as this, you know? Cool. Well, thank you. I'm trying to do fun artsy things, apparently. I put the burnished coin as the center spot in the where the NPC is that you're guarding. So there's this little room. The NPCs walk through here. And yeah, we're trying to now make where all the NPCs are going to spawn from. And I kind of wanted to make it where it's difficult to like cast on mobs until they're a little bit more visible. So that's actually what I'm going to start working on right now. There's a couple ways I could do this. In classic EQ style, you have these little tunnels, as you know, like you go through here. What they did is look at that geometry. That's interesting. They did stuff like this, you know, especially for areas that you're going to explore. But then you also have just the classic LGUC style. They did go a little crazy with like, look at this. There's like all these weird edges, and then they go up and then around, you know what I mean, to zone out, which I could reflect this. Just debating how. So really what they do to just keep it interesting is they will take a wall and then they like put a geometry in it and then just recess it. In fact, if you notice, this is what they're doing like everywhere. Just recess with a little chunk there. And then they may make some weird geometry like that. Yeah. Good old mysterious wall on the ground. And even like this, right? Everything's super simple. Like the geometry is not hard. The rocks are always interesting. I have a way to make rocks, but they don't really end up the same. So I might have to research that a little bit more. Inside here, they use this weird like palace texture, which we're probably not going to bother with. And then the roof actually uses this. And you notice the walls in general are using this texture. So in fact, while I'm thinking about it, let's take all of the walls and let's go find that texture. Refer to it again. It's just like a granite generic wall. Let's see if we can find that real quick. Probably, maybe it's Goblin Wall? No. It could be. Yeah, that actually looks like Goblin Barracks. So this texture, but then they like stretch it so damn huge. Right? Like you can't even see it. So like, let's see. If I go to surface mode and let's stretch this thing like... One issue is we're going from high res to low res. Like these are the low res old school textures and these are the higher res ones. But that kind of looks like it. And then their roof has this darker brown. Let's see if we can find that. Darker brown. Don't think it's that one. Maybe though. Why did it not apply it? I'm not in face mode. Well, anyways, I don't think it's that one anyways. Is it? That's for the waterfalls. Let's see. I mean, Neriac floor, wall, roof. Oh, there's two objects in the roof. That's why this is jacked up. So like if I move this up, you can see there's another wall. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one, take the other one, and put the roof on it. There. Are there multiples up there? What's going on here? Holy crap, how many do I have? Let's delete that one. Let's go to here, hit Neriac. There we go. And now we got to find this dark brown texture. As far as I've made video games before, it's honestly just a fuckload of work. It's why I'm just modding instead, because it's more fun. I think this is the walls and then the roof. I'm still trying to figure out which one is the roof. It's not end of the world if I don't get it right, but I'm trying to give it totally the feel of classic EverQuest zones. Weapon wall is actually a duplicate of Goblin Wall, from what I can tell. It could be this is just the floor. Stretched more? No, because like there's grayish, and then there's like a lighter gray, and then there's a dark gray. I think my floor is wrong. Like my floor should be something like this. Maybe not that one, but interesting. It's kind of hard to find these textures when they're not properly referenced. Cool. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, dude. And I'm spending too much time on this, honestly, but that's okay. I like to make things look a little similar. We're going to go ahead and stretch this by like a lot. Yeah, Dad. I'm just starting, all right? I'm just making a foundation and sort of planning this out. This all, by the way, you won't really see soon. Like, in fact, that's what I'm about to start doing is we're going to go in here, hit 7, close this, and we're going to start making all this area after I stretch. Okay. I'm also going to version this real quick before I forget. I have this set for client to give me shards landing dot SCN. I don't want the autosave, but the map I want. In fact, real quick, git ignore star.autosave.map. Those never need to be versioned. Okay. So, this is where I was actually just doing research on Dead Zergling, and that is how do walls in caverns work in Neriac zones? And the answer, this is, sorry, a little jarring of how fast, is like if you look in here, they like to not keep flat grounds. They usually like to like elevate and lower. But then a lot of their walls, instead of just being flat, like here it's flat, but a lot of times when they want to like make it more interesting, which I say that, and of course I'm in an area that all of it is flat, they do this recess effort. Where is it at? Here. So they like recess the wall and then they make like a pinch point. See that? So they're creating inverted cones essentially in the geometry, and they do it everywhere. Bloop. And that's all they're doing to make interesting caves. So when I do that, what I'm likely going to go ahead and do is with this geometry, I made a little sketch, by the way. This is kind of my vision of what this map looks like. So you have 3 corridors. We're going to go ahead and just start with like the top one. And yeah, I don't even know what EQ2 Nariak looks like. We're going to hide the roof for now. And we're going to go ahead and make, you know, I'm actually just going to go ahead and make like a little hallway. Whoa. That was odd. Why did it stretch it that way? Anyways, and what we're going to do is rotate this about here and kind of use this as guidelines for how I want this walkway to work. Scale is, I forget what the scale button is. Oh, it doesn't even have. We're going to stretch this down a little bit, and then so something like that. Yeah, but the problem with EverQuest 2 is they've totally fucked Dark Elves. Like, I absolutely hate the Dark Elves. And how do you fuck up Dark Elves? I mean, they were amazing. Even Lucklin wasn't bad. But like I mean, look at this. Like, who wants to be this? These aren't even great pictures. They're so damn ugly. I don't like them. Anyways, let me continue with this. So this is roughly what I want each corridor to look like. I know, I'm just fucking with this to kind of sketch it out for now. Something like this would be, so like you're sitting in here. This is actually a pretty big area, right? And you have these walls, corridors, and you'll be able to look down the corridor a little bit on each one, right? And each corridor will have mobs running through them. And I will make it where each corridor also has turns like this. And each turn makes it so that you can't see all the mobs that are coming until they get closer, is the idea. So I think this might be too big still. I might need to shrink the main ones. All right, let's see. So you have, let's see. You figure this is roughly 200 meters here, right? From the inner point. This is probably going to need to be shrunk down to about that. Because I don't want them to like be able to shoot too deep inside, you know? So... something like that. Make more sense. And this isn't where the hallways are going to start, but they at least give better context of the range. And we could lean this more towards the south side instead of the east side. That's fine. It doesn't need to be perfectly parallel because, you know, this is all going to be encapsulated in rock. So, like, in fact, let's go ahead and make like a quick rock foundation. Like, this is our entrance rock, right? We're going to W, F, click, scroll this up to the roof, basically. We're going to take this wall. Let's give it like that granite look. I think we have that unused right now. We have a reference to right here. This granite rock used everywhere. Is it this one? It could be. It looks like it. And let's go ahead and increase this to like 1.7. Yeah, you shouldn't be playing EQ1, dude, or working on it. You should be on EQ2. If you think that EverQuest 1 graphics are bad, you're going to have a hell of a time with all the shit. Because I love the old PS1 retro graphics looks, right? Which that's all that EQ really is. It's just like PlayStation 1 graphics. Even like making this map is amazing just because look how easy this is, right? Like I can just throw in some random ass geometry and then like hit this brush rock and then make it like 8 sides and boom, minus the thing that got fucking huge. Holy fuck, did it get huge? Anyways, and that actually looks like in-game geometry, you know what I mean? That's the part I was really emphasizing. In fact, let me shrink this, go back to rock mode and hit like 8. Look how big these fucking rocks go. It's so weird. Because, you know, in this, there are like big rocks as well, like for the walls. But really what they're doing is they just jagged the wall up, right? Like they add geometry. There's not really like a big rock system. Like they have this. Yeah. What I might be better off doing, let's undo this a few times. Let's take this rock. What are some of these other brush edits? Let me see if I can like, this is like a, a perfect sphere. That's not right. Let's do, I saw some more. Make detail. That doesn't sound right. Make structural? No. CSG tool. This is giving me all the cool, I thought there was like a column maker and stuff. Here's curve. Oh, okay. So let's say like we bevel. Obviously that totally fucks shit up, but let's look at curve stuff. We have a matrix system. We have texture. We have deform. Deform Z5. Oh, well, we didn't have anything really select. Or did it work? Let's try that again. Where was that at? Deform Z5. That didn't do shit. Let's see what else we can do. thicken, cap, exact sphere, cone, cylinder, cap, bevel, patch mesh, mesh text, shader plug, brush export. I saw like a column system earlier. I'm trying to find that. I would also like to be able just to add a like vertice, which I think this clipper tool lets me do that. So like if I click clipper and then I go like, I want to take this point and this point. You see what I mean? And then if I hit like enter, oh, that clips it like that. How do I make it where put caps, entities, patches, polygons, polygons is kind of right. You know what I mean? Like I'm adding geometry, but this is not going to be the cleanest way. Merge two patches, split patch, tree planter, brush cleanup, region set selection. This is part of the hiding and stuff. Detail, structural, world. That's a merging tool. There's a hotkey for selecting. There's flipping. All I want to do is not necessarily clip, but what I'd like to do is just add a edge, you know what I mean, to a brush. Because if I can add an edge, I can stretch that edge, but that could also be a little wonky for BSP. But I mean, it's already doing that with some of these deforms and stuff. It's going to probably be under modifies like rotation stuff here. Components, edges. Okay, wait. Why is edges giving me this thing? No brushes. I'm doing wrap merge. Oh, I'm in the wrong mode. View, modify, components, edges. There we go. And now I can modify an edge. There we go. That's what I want. Now, how do I add an edge? That's another question. Like if I wanted to split this. Could I go like faces, take a face and then say subdivide? Is there a subdivide? So I can find a subdivide. That would be what I'm doing. But no, because, you know, this geometry is really simple, right? I got 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. I got to figure this out real quick. Net radiant, add edge. Vertex editing. The clipper. Edge editing and vertex are two very useful techniques. Okay. To use edge editing, selecting press and press E to switch to edge editing mode. A green dot will appear. Shift click any of them. And yeah. Okay. Right. That's not helpful. Is it because the clipper is what's needed? The clipper tool is one of the most important tools, and being able to use it properly will make things a lot easier for you. Like all other tools, clipper tool must be activated to be able to use it. Blah, blah, blah. Press X. Yep. Select at least one brush. Then click on 2 different spots. Yep. A line will appear. Yep. Press Control Enter. And then enter to accept the cut, or shift enter and keep both parts of the brush. Okay, so shift enter I think is the part I was missing. So I go X and I hit 2 points, and then I hit shift enter. I now have 2 brushes. And now if I go to edge mode, I can stretch on the edge. That's what I was trying to do. It was a little wonky, but now that I know that, that helps immensely. Because I can now get out of edge mode. Let's go ahead and flatten this a little bit. Is this flush? It doesn't look like it. My grid is really small right now. I need to grow it. It looks like that's flush, but yeah, let's, I think we're at like what? 3, 2, 4. Let's even use 5 right now. Just go too deep in the ground. It'll be fine. Honestly, I've been doing that. That's the reason I'm map making in EverQuest, is because honestly, people just, it does not fucking matter. All right. So this is a little sketch, but I think what I'm going to actually do is start by making the outer texture. Basically, we're going to start by making something similar to this appeal, right? Like, imagine Neriac C, or even here, there's little exits, right? In fact, let's go to Neriac C real quick. So in Neriac C, when you go to the Necromancer area, right? There is a break where the ghouls are. And inside of this, you can see like there's large geometry, and then there's like a wall, and then there's some spikes. And then you go in, and then there's like a little corridor. I'm going to be inspired by this, but instead of the corridor, I could do something like this. I don't know if I want to make it bricked inside. I want this to feel like, you know what I mean? Like Soul Dungeon B, where all the kobolds and shit are. I kind of want to have like little corridors where the enemies are coming in. I do kind of like the spikes though. So let me see if I can make something similar to this right here for each exit. So we have this. We're going to go ahead and stretch it up. So we're up to the roof, right? We're going to use the clipper, which is X, and we're going to hit like 2 points. We're going to say about here. We're going to hit Shift Enter. Then we're going to go into edge mode. We're going to select this edge and stretch it out to like here. And now let's take out of edge mode, hit enter, escape out. And so now what we have is a kind of linear edge, which is pretty much exactly what I wanted. Perfect. And there are some brush issues because we split this object. I think you have to do that though in order to make geometry like this in, ow. Ugh. I wonder if I can merge it when I'm done. Can I like use what is the merge button? I don't know if there is a merge. Yeah, merge. There. And now I don't have the center part with its own geometry. Yet I still keep my edge. And then on the roof, there's no longer, yeah, literally that's exactly what I need to do. So the last step I need to make is merge. Okay. I've just learned how to do primitive ground editing in NetBSP or NetRadiant. So let's do that again. X. We're going to put similar to this, like right here. Okay. We're going to hit Shift Enter. Bump. We can go ahead and merge it. So what is the merge hotkey? There is not one, but we can just merge. Boom. The edge goes away though. Okay. And that's because we have to first modify this edge to make it known to be there. Okay. Now if we go brush, merge, we get edge data with that new edge, but everything else is perfect. See that? So we have a new edge, but all the rest of the geometry is solid. This is actually a big deal because now I can even take like this geometry of the wall and merge it into this geometry later. You know, like when I'm done to bake it if I want. I really doubt I'll do that though. I can let BSP export do that. Anyways, so now that we got this wall edge, we're going to do some manipulations. One of which, so we're going to like pull this back a little. In fact, let's go to 7 view. Take this edge and just pull it back a little bit. And then we're going to take this edge and we're going to kind of move it over here. Look at that. Now we're kind of making this. Now what we're going to need to do is use the clipper tool again. And we need to recess. Oops, why is the clipper tool? X. Click, click, shift enter. Grab this edge, move it in a little bit, just a little bit. Then grab all the edges and do a merge. Okay. So this did not merge. Let's try this again. Okay, that did not work right. Control Z. I think after the second edit, unfortunately, this is not. Yeah, it removes that edge. Huh. Not end of the world, but kind of dirty. You know what I mean? I just want to add a bunch of geometry and then just keep merging the edges. But it's not going to let me do that, I think. Maybe if I do like face mode, select that face, and then select this whole object. I don't know. I don't think I can fix this easily. Oh well. We can still make this illusion. Another thing I'm going to do is take the top edge of this line, which, by the way, how does this know? Oh, I have to use vertice edit mode. I can take this and kind of stretch it out a little bit. Because I think that's what's happening here. When you're in here, yeah, you see what I mean? It like towers up with an angle. I'm doing a similar effect right here. Interesting, the geometry is adding in those triangles, but I think that's normal. But yeah, now we have a like towering rooftop edge. Cool. Now let's try to like round this, I guess. So let's take this edge, V. Okay. So now we have this cube, right? And this is like the remaining geometry we haven't edited yet. And what we're going to do is we have the entrance here, right? We've kind of sketched it. We're going to go ahead and do a clipper. Oh, wait, it's not C. It's X. Clipper, and then we're going to do it about here down to about here, right? And then we're going to hit Shift Enter. We're going to just keep this part solid because we're going to be modifying it here in a sec. You know, that's basically this area. But on the left of it, we're going to go ahead and start rounding it. Which, actually, we can just leave it as is. We're going to do another clip, and we're going to put it like... Am I in clipper mode? There. We're going to put it like right here. And then we're going to hit Shift-Enter. Then we're going to go into edge mode. We're going to take this edge. Am I not able to select this edge? What's going on? Oh, I'm not in edge mode. But like... There. Okay. So, what's going on here? These two objects are manipulating... Okay. That's only moving that one. Let's Control-Z that. Interesting. Why am I having... just one side come out instead of both? What's going on here? Well, let's try this. Okay, and then we select both. We do a merge. There. So now we have this object, we have the entryway, and now we have this new geometry that I've been starting to work on. Now if I press E, I can click here and like start... Whoa! What was going on there? Click this. Oh, is this... No, that's an edge view. Must be because of this edge and how this is how this geometry was clipped. There is now some weird vertices going on because we only have one vertice now, right? What we need is a straight line. So let's undo this a couple times so that we only get there. Let's try the clip again. Shift Enter, edge, move. There we go. This is what I wanted, right? So now the edge is perfect. It's been stretched out. It's a little warped from my cut, but that's fine. That's kind of what's happening here too. It's not as straight. You know what, actually, let's undo that. And, oops, too many. Okay. X, click, straight down, click. That is not straight down. Damn it. Control Y. Control Y. There we go. You can just drag these. There we go. Shift Enter. E, click, transform mode. Edit this out. There we go. What I'm going to do next is take my face here, stretch it out. Okay. We're going to do another clip. Like so. We're going to hit Shift Enter. We're going to go Edge View. We're going to click this object, go into movement mode, and we can like start stretching this over. Oops, we got some edging problems here now. So let's undo that. I think it's important that you do not modify, like these two edges are not merged yet. We got to first CSG merge this. Now we have that edge, and this is now solid. So now when I press X, I can go here to like here. Double check the straightness of it because we can just move this easily. All right, Shift Enter. Now we take edge mode, grab this edge, go into W mode, move it up. Ooh, what's going on here? That's some ugly geometry. What happened? I think because these two are now merged, whenever I'm doing these rotations, it's just not selecting right or something. I don't know what's going on here, but let's try again. So we got this object. We're about to split it. We just did. We're going to go to edge mode. We're going to select this edge. Going to go into W mode, and then we're going to move this forward. There we go. You can see on the top, this vertex is being manipulated by my edge change. Wonder if I use vertex mode and go for the two vertices, if I look cleaner. It's not selecting both. There. And unfortunately, once I move this to a certain point, it's also grabbing this vertex, and I don't want it to. Like, I think it has to do with this vertex. I think it has to do with how this clip works. Like, what I need to do is not merge this until I'm done manipulating it all. I think that's what's happening. So, wait, redo that. This is still split, right? Yeah. So what we're going to go ahead and do is take this object, clip it, put it down the line, straighten it real quick because angles. I should be clipping this with a view over here, but regardless. Do Shift Enter again. Take this edge and move this forward. There. See, now we're a lot cleaner. And what we're making is we have this little chunk that we made. We got the corridor. We have a little churning point here. We have the second corridor, which we can go ahead and take this edge and kind of stretch it out a little bit more. Oops. Let's take both edges, actually. Why aren't you selecting the other edge, too? Come on. I wish there was a way to select both easily. Yeah, like I need to grab both of these, right? See, that's doing... Huh. I could always hide this. Nope. No, I do not want to hide it. Well, I can undo that. Go to here again. We want to hide you again because you're in the way. Is there a way to view this so that geometry renders edges, by the way? I'm assuming there's a way. Edit, preferences, display. You know what I mean? Like a 3D or see-through mode. Because I'd love to know what my entities look like, but I don't see it easily. Whatever, we'll keep going. So, we have this hallway prepped. We got this next hallway we're about to do again. which from what I can tell, it's important whenever I make these cuts that I just immediately hit Shift Enter, go into edge mode, select the edge, go into move, and now it'll move both. If I don't do what I just did, it fucks with coordinate data. It makes it hard to select both edges. All right, so we are shifting this in. Was there anything interesting going on over here other than what I've done? There is just a collapse, and I think on the upper part it lifts in, but I can do that easily later. And then there's some rocks on the bottom, but those are things I can bake in later. This face is getting a little wonky, but that's all right. I can fix that post. Okay, so we're gonna actually take this edge now and pretty much put it all the way to like here. And then we're going to go into vertice mode and we're going to clean this up a little bit. There's a slight gap, but I think I can fix that. Not with this grid though. Because when I do a merge, it should fix all this weird junk. All right. So we got this, I think, done-ish. Now we have this object. What we probably need to do now is another clip over here. Before I do that, though, I'm going to stretch this face. Ooh. We can definitely take this edge, move it in. In fact, probably take this face, kind of move it out. Is that fine? Yeah, especially like if I take this edge and move it forward. Why is it manipulating all that edges when I do that? That's kind of weird. Like, I'm only selecting this edge. There. I just was selecting wrong, I think. Okay. The only part that I'm a little worried about is I have one last cut that I'm going to be doing, and it's going to be in right here. So this is going to be getting cut through, right? But I think we're okay. So now you have this little area, right, where you can fight. I'm actually going to test this real quick. Save. Final. Oops, we got leaks. Where are the leaks? Oh. Haha. That helps. Ooh, we still have a leak. Is this roof? Oh, I see. Does that make you happy? Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and test this in game real quick. Shards landing, BSP, put it into this one. Go here, delete the import, import a new one. Library textures, maps. Shards landing. Export out to S3D. Done. Now we're going to go into EverQuest after we copy. all those little steps are super tedious, but I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with NetRadiant, and we're about to see if all these geometry hacks are actually loading in proper. Should have maybe gone dark elf so I can see Gaima better, but all right. This is not looking bad, actually. All right, so we have, this is green now, which is good. I wanted it to be green. And I think this should be blue. It is. Nice. All right, and then inside it should just be lit because I have some ambient lights. And I think there's an ambient light behind as well. And an ogre can fit back here just fine. So that's a little cower point, that cower point. But yeah, this geometry looks pretty much exactly like I made it. Obviously there's a cut here, and that's just, I need to clean that up. I'm aware the geometry is not perfect yet. I just wanted to see how it rendered in. But yeah, that looks all great. Cool. And the ground is pretty flush. There's a little bit of a recess. We'll see how the nav mesh works against that. In fact, that might be worth testing real quick. Let's go to, shit, I don't even know where that's at. Ugh. It is inside the I don't remember my names. I think Zone Utils. I think it's A Zone. There's a PFS program in here. That's interesting. Maps. And let's double check the README. Ugh. No documentation on the README. All right. D drive games, EQ tools, Zone Utils. All right, so we have an A Zone program. We want to make, it's going to be an A Zone EQ, I think. Oh, Zone Utility Tools, Gitbook. Perfect. Okay, A Zone is binary responsible for generating our map files. A Zone will look within the current directory for zone name. You pass it and attempt to open files with 3 locations. Okay, this will load, generate the maps, and then water generates water, which we don't care about right now. PFS is used for, so that's actually cool. This is similar to what I wrote for EQZXC. Map view is a utility that will attempt to load a map in water files and render a 3D view. So basically, if we take A Zone, put it into our ROF client, put it in the gate ignore. Well, actually, it's an executable. It'd be ignored by default. And we run A Zone shards landing. Wait, I put you here, didn't I? Oh. All right. Wrote map for zone. Okay. So that created all the geometry. Now we have a map file. Then, you know what, actually, I'm going to make a view command as well in here, because this is going to get arduous when we do it over and over. Let's do like waypoint.bat. And what waypoint.bat is going to do is, oh, actually, A Zone needs to be added to file list builder. Otherwise, it'll be packed. Okay, so waypoint, also this needs to be in there. Waypoint is going to run a zone, and you would need to, let's just do shards landing for now. And then it needs to do the map command, which it looks like it's just a map edit. It's as simple as that. Let's see. Wait, this is not the right command prompt. Okay, this starts the program up. Apparently, it is not happy. What am I missing? We just added some files, by the way. That can be get ignored, and a zone and map editor can probably be ignored as well when I find them. Map. Honestly, for versioning, do I need that? How should I do this actually? Because the .map file in ROF is going to be going to the server. I really don't want to version them on the client. Huh. How am I going to do that? What I should do is take my maps. I want to keep this directory open. We want to take my maps, which I don't actually have cloned. So GitHub desktop. We're going to clone Damantia maps and put it into Damantia maps. Oh, there. Perfect. So now we have a map zone file directory. We can go into my waypoint generator thing. And what this is actually going to need to do is hit a zone for CLZ, shards landing. And then what I want it to do is copy or move. Is it just move in? We can keep the echo. We're going to move clz.map to up one directory, because now we're in client, up one directory, maps. Map edit still needs to be cleaned up, but let's try this. Waypoint. One file moved. Where did these files go to? They should now be versioning on maps. Perfect. And we probably should run the awater command as well and all that shit. Let's see. Just awater, same thing. And we can actually make this all happen in one. You know what? Let's keep it separate. It makes life easier. Does move work with multiple? Should. All right, let's try this again. Not build. Damn it. I need to clean this up, actually. How long have I been streaming? This has been a while, right? Oh, yeah, I'm up to 3 hours. Okay, so we're going to run waypoint. move does not allow multiples because it is not cool. Water is not generating. Why? Oh, because I never run it. File list builder is also going to need a water to be ignored and map edit. Is it map edit to be ignored? Okay. Then we need to take a water out of my utils, which I don't have. All right, so Demancia client ROF needs a water. Now, if we come back to Waypoint, I think now maps will have the water files. Perfect. Is there anything other that need to be in? Just the map view. This will attempt to load nectilus.map.metilus.wtr. I wonder if map view can just be in the versioning of I wonder if map view needs to be in the directory of my No? Let's see if we can figure this out. It probably also needs the S3D in the directory. So let's test that real quick. Let's take the ROF client. Let's put CLZ in the directory and see if map edit works now. No. Well, I can also use MQ2's nav mesh editor. C drive games. Oh, project is just, yeah. C drive games. He has a maps subfolder. I wonder if there's some sort of something happened. What happened? Nothing. Okay, well, I just lost map edit. So let's put it back in here. I got to figure out the path relativeness, but regardless, let's go back to C drive games, MQ2, get the emu version, open it up with the mesh tool. what is that called actually? It's a mesh generator. And then you need to find the EQ directory. Cancel, close. Take the mesh generator. Let's see if we can put it in the client. Which means we got to add this to the ignore. Okay. And I want it to target C drive, code, projects, Demancia, client, ROF. And an output MQ2 directory. Let's just make it temp. Okay, now if we open the zone, CLZ is not even listed. How come? Well, I mean, there is no nav mesh because we haven't generated one yet. And this is what this tool is supposed to do. What is mesh tool? It is not referenced. All right, so I got some path issues. You know what it may be? No, it wouldn't be that. I don't know. I'm trying to get some of these nav mesh generators to work so that I can review my edited zones better. I can make .maps. Let's take a rewind here. Can see the shaders directory. The S3D loader, I think, is loaded by all three. And then the map editor. Doesn't look like it's actually in there. I have this directory twice, don't I? Yes, I have one there. Or do I? Yeah, regardless. Maps. Let's put this in here. Never mind. My throat. Max polys, max tiles. I don't think this is what we want. I'll have to mess with this later. Maybe I'll have Trust help me get through it because it's not being super intuitive. In fact, I'm going to end the stream here shortly. All I'm going to do is version a lot of this shit because, I mean, this is success, right? Like, I have a fucking zone that I'm making, my little test object that tells me where the different paths are going to be, and then I have this wall That's working perfect. I know I have some collisions, but I'll clean that up after I finish that geometry. And I got these nice big doors that you can kind of hide behind and like shoot through. And there's some clipping on here, but it's not bad. It's pretty normal for EverQuest. So cool. Let me go ahead and take a picture of this real quick in some form. Maybe something like this. Toss it in my Discord. Ooh, Ali's saying hi. Public dev chat. Working on my new defense map. For those that want to see updates, especially when I'm not streaming, there is also this channel. And yeah. All right. I think we're done. Let me just finish versioning stuff. Okay, so my generator, let's go ahead and run that. Let's see how the file versions are. I just realized something. Shard's Landing is supposed to be the hub, and I was making a tower defense map. In fact, let's rename it real quick before we officially commit it. So Shard's Landing is going to be, let's do ROF2 zones real quick here. No, RF2. Because you have like Crystal 2 and shit. Reign of Fear zones. Shard's Landing, Zexua, blah blah, Crystal Caverns, Fragment of Fear. This zone short name, I forget. It's called Crystal Shard. So this zone might just be called Crystal Shard. That should be very little conflict. In fact, we're going to go ahead and go into ROF. We're going to take the Shard's Landing extractions and turn them into... Actually, we don't need to even touch these. I mean, there's the map files and stuff. What we need to do is take open zones, generated Shard's Landing, export this now as... what was it called? Crystal 2? Crystal Shard. Okay. So Crystal Shard has been extracted. It is now its own file. We can go and exit the client. We can hit up ROF Crystal and what is it? Shard's Landing. We can delete the Shard's Landing instance. We have Crystal Shard now, right? No? Oh yeah, I have to do the S3D copy first, which might need to be edited. Yes. Crystal Shard. There. Now we have Crystal Shard. Boom. Now Crystal Shard needs to be extracted by EQZXE. Go. Cool. Now we can go ahead and save this scene file under C drive code projects, Demancia client, ROF. And we're going to call this Crystal Shard. Oh, it's going to be in the extracted S3D though. .scn. Save. Then we're going to go into NetRadiant, hit save as, put this back into Crystal Shard as Crystal Shard.map. Save. Now, what next? all the Shards Landing crap should now be unversioned, and that directory should be cleaner. So let's get back to client. We still have 300 files, but you can see here, oh, that's interesting. Shards Landing references a BMP file. And also all these BMPs, oh wait, we don't need Shards Landing anymore. We can totally just strip that directory. So let's reveal this, take these 4 out, or 3, because now we've backed everything up that's in them, right? Pretty sure we did. Let's delete them. What is using to Shards Landing right now? It's probably one of these folders. No. Well, we can exit out of our clients. We can close these windows. We can close even more windows. No, we don't need to save that. No? What else is opening in that directory? Isn't that always annoying? It's probably one of my command prompts. No. What about my terminal? It's not in there. Here it is. Close that. Perfect. I hate how Windows locks directories when you have anybody editing it. ROF. Okay, so now Shards Landing is gone. So let's go ahead and open this back up and get to client. Why did you go blank? VS Code, don't be dumb. You got one job and you failed. Okay, there it is. Cool. So now we can see that there's only 42 files edited. In fact, these all can be unversioned. And they should just disappear. Good. So the README talks about the size of an ogre. The gitignore adds a few new entries. Crystal Shard is now baked. And these 2 files, I really need to figure out a better ignore option for it. In fact, didn't we just add EQ client? No, because that's all the disables. We're going to have to keep doing that every time, unfortunately. So our file list builder, let's double check that real quick. And we added all these new ignores. Okay, so we have added a mesh generator. We don't need any of that shit. In fact, we can probably delete the files. And just rerun the builder. A water, a zone. Okay. Typo in a zone. These log files can be ignored. Okay. Crystal Shard, that looks green. Those are just updates to hashes. Image UI can be ignored as well. Okay. And what else was in here? We did deleted notes and more Shards Landing stuff. Okay, let's run the again. Do another quick spot check. Oop, we got a typo on. What did I mess up? Oh, there you go. Okay. Now, just one last spot check. Shards Landing is still there. Didn't I delete the source files? I did not. Because Shard's Landing is now Crystal Shard, right? So we can safely just delete those. Okay, so notes, it's gone. Shard's Landing should now be gone. Yep, and we just have Crystal Shard. Perfect. We added that. So now the file list builder is green. We can snapshot that versioning. We can snapshot that versioning. We can add this to the git ignore. This is all the textures that are currently referred. That actually looks perfect. So it's optimizing it. Even though I have a large texture source, doing this pipeline, it's actually exporting them as BMP even, which is nice because I'm using JPEG internally. So this is now added Crystal Shard. Okay. And let's go ahead and push that. Hit OK. I think we're good to go. I could add these, but okay. That should have cleaned up here. We need to show this in Explorer real quick. In fact, I would love to have this in a new window real quick so that I can create a git ignore and put in here imageui.ini. All right, so now we have the generated maps too. Perfect. Here, you can push. Good. Okay. We are done. I have a clean repo. And this is Demancia client. Perfect. And our commits are done. All right. Well, hey, if you've been watching, I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully learned something in my frantic trial and error. My takeaway for today is I started Shard's Landing, or sorry, Crystal Shard. I'm actually going to write some readmes real quick here. So list of custom zones, CLZ, Neriac inspired central hub, or not central hub zone, but Neriac inspired center point hub zone. Non-custom clients load first time into CLZ and get stuck on the platform center. Shard's Landing first instant zone survival map. Yeah, that's it's not Shard's Landing, damn it, it's Crystal Shard is what I'm going to call it. All right, just a quick readme update. Yeah, see, I'm keep changing the gamma and character selected, and it always is going to change that. It's, as well as like look at this. EQ decides to put miscellaneous in different directories during each load. That's funky. Updated readme. There we go. Push.